I was kind of disappointed. Wanted to come out, have some fun with my family, just chill, enjoy the evening.
The entrance to the Piety Wharf inside Crescent Park is locked.
It's hard to control the barges.
And closed.
Because the river's high.
After a tugboat called Savage Voyager, pushing 2 empty barges, collided with the wharf. Just a few months ago, a different barge accident forced another portion of the park to close too.
Because it's blocked off, and it's been blocked off for several months now.
The barge crashes are becoming more common as the water on the Mississippi River has been raging since December, breaking a record for the longest time period of high water on the river, according to Steve Hawthorne with the New Orleans Baton Rouge Pilots Association.
It's just very challenging and very dangerous out there. Things happen very quick because of the speed of the current.
There's still no word on when the wharf damage will be fixed. Dustin Cadrinos said he had planned on paying the city $5,000 for a wedding he'd been planning. Tonight, he's recommending his clients reconsider.
The looks of it, I think we need to change venues because I think it's closed for indefinite now.
The Bonnie Carey Spillway has 168 bays open. Experts say the water's going down, but it could be another 6 weeks of rough water. Paul Dudley, Eyewitness News.
And city officials told us they are working with the French Market Corporation and the Office of Risk Management to determine the impact of the damage. They say they hope to repair the wharf as quickly as possible.